Hello, hello, hello. What's up, you guys? It is Selena with Savvy Empire Consulting. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, beautiful Friday. So it's Friday, right? We're all ready for the weekend, I'd say. Now, this beautiful virtual networking that we're going to talk about today, I have a couple of things in mind for you guys. So, we're talking about the beautiful wonders of artificial intelligence, right? And how you can use that to your advantage. If you are a solopreneur, if you are a startup, if you are just a small business owner with less than 50 people, I have some treats to share with you this evening. Now, I'm not going to take too much of your time. I want you to relax. I want you to sit back and I want you to enjoy this presentation. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the comments or, just let us know. Let me know what type of questions you have and I will do my best to answer those questions. All right, so let's get into it. So we've all heard and probably experienced some AI agents, right? Some chatbots, some automations or generative AI in our CRMs and our Instagram DMs and our emails right about now. Like Gemini is fierce when it comes to following up, creating a quick summary. I even get a summary when I'm like Googling something. Like it gives me a brief summary of whatever I'm Googling. Guys, this is the beautiful wonders of artificial intelligence. And I'm here to tell you right now, you need to be taking advantage of it. Because if you are not, you will be missing out. You will be left behind. Okay. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean if you are a solopreneur, small business owner? Selena, how can I be left behind? How can this happen to me in my business? I've been in business for 5 years, for 1 year, for 3 months, whatever. You are going to be left behind, sweetheart. You have to take advantage of artificial intelligence. You have to take advantage of generative AI. Okay. Let me tell you a very, very good example. What we are doing here at Savvy Empire Consulting is we are building custom AI agents. So, what does that mean? What does it look like? How does it sound? I'm getting to that. Our custom AI agents, they're built customized to your business. So when I build my AI agent, I literally have to make sure that the web has, or that my AI agent has crawled the web with your website, with your email templates, right? With your hours of operations, right? With the typical questions it's going to ask. I have prompted my AI agent to ask certain questions about your business. And I have prompted this AI agent as a receptionist. Yeah, yes. So my AI agent knows all about your business, has studied your website to a T, to the point where it knows your hours of operations. It knows how to answer your questions, whether or not to take in personal information. It knows about all of your services. It knows about your private policy. It knows the things that it should know as a real life receptionist. Yes, that's what we are working on here at Savvy Empire Consulting. Now, We are specifically working with service-based business owners because I know you guys are a little bit lacking when it comes to automations, when it comes to your operations. And I don't want you to lack. I don't want you to be left behind. I want you to embrace this beautiful, wonderful opportunity of using artificial intelligence. So, those custom AI agents, they are trained to know all about your business. But I'm going to tell you something, guys, and I'm going to be very open when I say this. My agents are only as good, hear me though, as your back end. Okay. It's only as good as your back end. So your back end has to be pristine. It has to be at least set up to be able to handle the inquiries that will come in. A good example, if you are running ads right now on Facebook and someone was to call your business and they were ready to take on your services right then and there, do you have an automated system and workflow to be able to handle that potential lead? If your answer is yes, then you are okay. Now, let's say you get 10 calls in the next 10 minutes. Here it is. Okay. Do you have the back end, the automations, the workflow to be able to handle those 10 potential leads in 10 minutes? Yeah, that's what I'm asking. And that's what I'm here to help with. Me and my team, we are always willing to help our service-based business owners prepare for those incoming leads, especially if you work in HVAC, if you work as a roofer, if you work as a plumber, if you're doing hands-on work, I'm here to help. We are here to help you. Even if you're not sure, you're like, Selena, look, I'm not sure if I have the backing and the operational workflow and the automations in order to make sure that I am prepared for that custom AI agent. No problem. I got you, because I will do an audit for you and we will determine whether or not you are available for that particular service. But I got to tell you guys, if you are running ads and trying to collect leads, sweetheart, you should be ready for those leads to come in, because we want the floodgates to open up, right? And we want to be able to collect as much water as we can as possible. That was the whole point of us putting that big calling out there, that you're ready and available to take on more and more customers. So the custom AI agent is customized to specific business owners that are ready to take on more leads, or they are already taking on a lot of leads, but they need to have someone picking up that phone, someone qualifying those leads, someone making sure that there is no lead left behind. And that is the big service that we are doing. We are doing that, and I am excited. I am ready to take on you guys, to help you guys to get your back end together, because I believe in you. I know you can do this. And I have to say this. As of right now, if you're a plumber, you're an HVAC, you're a roofer, you're a home inspector, it's very likely at this time, at least within the next 5 to 10 years, your job, what you're doing cannot be taken over by AI, at least not right now. Not in the next 5 years. I don't know if I should say 10. That may be a little too much. But as of right now, you are safe. You are safe. But that does not mean that you do not need to implement AI. That just means that you need to become more strategic about implementing AI. You need to have better tactics about implementing artificial intelligence. And I want to help you do that because I believe in you. I know you can do it. I know it is important, and I want you to succeed. I want you and your team to succeed. So I'd say there are a few, because I've been doing a lot of deep research about the service-based industry, the plumbers, the HVAC folks, the home inspectors. And what I've learned is qualifying the lead, being able to follow up is very, very, very important. And that is what the custom AI agents are doing. So if you're a solopreneur or you have a small team, 5 to 10, even 20, even less than 50 people, I want you to reach out to me. I want to do that audit. I want to help you qualify leads. I want to help you. These are the things that I want to make sure that you are doing in order for you to succeed. Now, on your back end, there are things that you definitely want to get together. Like it's important to get it together. Your systems are so important that if you don't have it together because you're rushing to go take that call and you're with your family, but you got to go take that call because you got that Facebook lead out there or the Facebook ad out there and you don't want to miss those leads, or you're rushing to take that call and you're under the house as a house inspector, you're under in the crawl space, or you're rushing to take that call and you're right now working on a toilet. I'm talking to you. You are who I'm talking to. You are who I want to help. Because if you don't have these systems together, then how are you going to properly run your business? And if we have a great technology like artificial intelligence, and it is ready and willing to take on the work that you don't want to do, the task delegation that you don't need to do, then we need to make sure that we are implementing it properly. We need to have the systems ready to implement it properly. But what I will tell you, folks, and this is a huge, huge, huge thing that has been on my mind when it comes to working with you guys, working with small business owners and solopreneurs. I can only care so much about your business, sweetie. Like I can only care, me and my team, my virtual assistant, she can only care. He can only care so much about your business. What does that mean? That means you have to care more because it is your business. You're going to hear me preach a little bit. Nobody's going to care more about your business than you, the owner, the founder, the person that created that baby, that business. It is you. But I want you to understand something. You have to put in the work. You cannot mess around, go around the bush, then through the bush, then cut the bush. You can't do that. You have to put in the work. You have to Edward Scissorhands that thing, man. You really, really need to concentrate. When I give you assignments as the consultant, as the project manager, as the operations manager, as the AI consultant, you must do your due diligence and execute and do your homework. Because if you don't understand your own workflow, how the heck am I going to understand it? You have to understand how each lead comes into your pipeline. You should understand your sales process, guys. That's a soundbite right there. You should understand your sales process. Do you understand your sales process? Do you have it written down? If it comes from the website, if it comes from the Facebook ad, if it comes from the Instagram DM, if it comes from the LinkedIn DM, if it comes from referral, if it comes from a networking event. Notice I named six pipelines of a sales process that can have six different ways of how that lead is captivated. That's what I just named right then and there. You guys have to know that. If you do not know that, we have a problem, Houston, because you need to understand your own sales process before you can delegate someone to help you fix it. And if I'm trying to help you fix it and I'm explaining the differences between them and I assign you things, you are to do and execute what I assign you to do. No, I don't think so, Abdul. I think we're good right now. Thanks for tuning in though. But I hope you guys heard me and heard me clear, guys. You guys have to do the work. You have to Edward Scissorhands when it comes to your workflows, to your business. You have to have your system set up. You shouldn't be leaving birthday parties. You shouldn't be leaving the actual client that you're working on to work on another lead. You shouldn't be handing your lead over to somebody who's not educated, not qualified to handle that lead. You should understand your sales process. You should have your systems in place. What we do here is we help you move from CEO dependent to systems dependent success. And the only way we can do that, if you understand how your systems and sales process works, you must do the homework. You must care more than me, right? Now, I said y'all was going to hear me preach a little bit, but don't, it is what it is. This is what I'm experiencing with some of y'all small business owners. I want y'all to understand this is very important. If you didn't hear it before, you're hearing it now. You must care more than the consultant. The consultant can say the same thing 5 times, but we cannot lead the horse to the water. The horse must understand, smell, know, feel what the water tastes like. It must imagine that water, feel that water, and go to it. This is what I'm saying to you. All right, your systems are important. So we have a special guest, guys. This guest is going to talk about the importance of having your body together, your human system, your operating system in your body together so you can operate at a full performance level. Because if this and your body isn't right, I can understand why that business is running the way it is, because you must have this together and you should be active. You should have a plan. You should follow a schedule. Discipline creates the structure, the success. Okay, so let's go ahead and add P.S. Wilson to the discussion with P.S. Wilson Healthcare.
How you doing? How you doing?
Hello.
Man, I'm excited. We're talking about systems. We're talking about systems. And it's crazy because there's no real distinguishing difference between your human operating system and your business system. You got to apply the same logic. How are you going to be the executive of your business and not your body? You see what I'm saying? You apply systems to your finances, you apply systems to your operations, your sales, but when it comes to your health, there's no system. It's just, I'll figure it out next week. I'll catch up on sleep later. I'll eat better when things slow down. Which it never does. Because we're busy professionals and we only get busier because that's where the money comes in. But a system-driven business being led by a systemless human is unsuccessful. So here's the truth. Most leaders, this is where they miss. Your body is not separate from your leadership. Your body is not separate from your business. Your energy determines how you show up. It determines how you think. It determines how you decide and how you respond under pressure. So when your system is unstable, everything built on top of that becomes unstable too. So you have to have a system and you have to have a problem-solving framework when it comes to your human operating system as well. All right. So that's kind of what we're going to get in today. Just want to give you some guidelines on how to do that, right? What areas do we want to focus on when it comes to this human operating system, right? So the main things that you're going to want to focus on when it comes to your human operating system is going to be your readiness. There's 5 performance and governing performance. That's going to be your physical capacity. What is my energy level like? What is my biological stability like? Am I more prone to sickness? Am I more prone to not being 100% focused when it's time for me to execute in business? Then you want to look at your emotional and cognitive regulation. So that's going to boil down to like your decision making skills. Is my energy dying down right when it's time for me to make the most important decisions? Jeff Bezos says he tries to make one decision a day, one successful decision a day, because he's managing his operating system. The most important operating system that he has that governs his whole business is his human body. So he takes rest and more than probably anything you would think he would take. But he does so that he can make the most decisive decisions. He's not reactive in behavior. He's not burnt out from things happening within the business and being burnt out from decisions that he's made all day that had nothing to do with the productivity of him earning or him becoming successful, right? The next pillar that you want to look at is your social and relationship. Your social and relationships. Are you in relationships that are draining you? Are you having conversations that are draining you? Does your team collaborations, do they build up the business in itself? Or are they culturally degrading? You have to look at this. Are you watching things and consuming things that are diminishing your mood, that are diminishing your intelligence? Like you gotta all these things play into energy. They play into your thinking sharpness. They play into your reaction, which is overall going to play into your performance. Okay. And then lastly, you want to look at your intellectual capacity. Do you have a strategic, rigid performance outline to mitigate the risk of falling off track? I know for myself, if I eat certain things, my body's going to react in a certain way that's going to have me moody. My body's going to react in a certain way that is going to have me lashing out a little differently than I might. If I'm drinking tea in the morning, I'm going to be a little more calm. I'm going to be a little more chill. I'm going to be a little more focused. I'm going to be a little more at peace when it comes to a performance plateau. If I'm having an espresso, for me specifically, it don't work as well. For all my coffee drinkers, that's cool. But you got to know, again, everybody's not the same. So you got to know what works for you. You got to know what works for you. And then lastly, you want to look at the purpose and identity alignment. Is the success that you are having aligned with your purpose? Are you motivated? Is it something that you identify with in your values? Is it something that is silently disengaged with? Right? So I say all this to say that these systems can either support your operating system or it can take it down and put you in a position where your performance is at risk. And that's what we want to prevent most of all when it comes to PS Wilson Healthcare. We want to help you with your performance risk. So here's the question I want to leave you with. What in your life still depends on you that should be systemized in your business, in your health? Because if your business requires systems to scale, so do you. And you need to build one. You'll remain in these bottleneck situations in both areas, in your business and in your health, if you don't discover what that is, you know. And one way that I can help you, I don't want to just tell you all this news and then not give you any guidance on how to figure these systems out. You can I'll put a link in the chat, and you can visit pswilsonhealthcare.com, and you can actually find your bottleneck. You can find, it's a 3 to 5 minute little survey, and what it'll do basically is help break down and give you an idea of what area in your life, what area in your human operating system is holding you back, what area is at risk. All right. But definitely don't forget about your health. You never build the system. You'll never build a system that is sustainable without building a system around your health.
Thank you. Now, is that the scorecard? Is that what we're looking at?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So I'm going to put that in the chat. Take the quiz. It's a scorecard quiz, right?
Yep. It's 3 to 5 minutes, quick little true or false answers. And you'll get an email telling you where your bottlenecks are, what areas you need to have more focus in. And then you'll have the opportunity to set up an appointment if you want. And we can go into it with more detail and figure out what we can do, what operating system we can now put in place so that we can eliminate the risk in those areas.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing that and making sure people see and hear that connection. Because I think as like entrepreneurs, especially in this day and age, we're just going with the trend. We're just going, oh, a day in the life with me. What I do, I wake up, I do this, I do that. There is reverence in you slowing down and just having some understanding of what you're doing on the day-to-day and figuring out, is it helping you? Are you progressing? You know, and I feel like sometimes we forget these things.
Oh yeah, for sure. You become less stable. You become less predictable. You become more reactive. You know, like I said,
that's a soundbite there. We become more reactive. Did you guys hear that? We become more reactive. So that means you don't really have a system. You're just reacting all the time.
Reacting. Yeah, we want to be proactive, not reactive. You did.
We want to be proactive, not reactive. Another soundbite there. We want to make sure we chop that up. We're gonna let the editor know. Hey, chop this up, okay? Listen, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed our little small fireside chat on this lovely Friday, but we're going to end it here. Make sure you go to pswilsonhealthcare.com. You take that scorecard quiz. You make sure you understand how your human operating system is affecting you and your business. You want to understand these things so you can level up. It's about to be Q2, and I believe in you. I want you to take the necessary steps to get your business together, to implement AI, and to make sure your human operating system is well-oiled and efficient, functioning at the highest level of performance so you can succeed and hit those profit goals for the end of Q2. Thank you guys for tuning in to Savvy Empire Consulting on our little fireside chat. And we're going to see you guys next time. Y'all have a lovely weekend. Take care.